What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And this one I want to break down what's happening with Tesla SPY and a couple of other tickers and break down what's going on with the economic calendar moving forward. Some big news about Tesla, what you should be watching for as time progresses. Before I begin devil's information, before I talk about a big support that's about to be tested on Tesla stock, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Weeble link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Weeble and deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 free stocks, and the offer ends in just about 4 days from now. Anyways, when it comes to the market, I just want to say that Tesla has a nice inverse head and shoulders like structure. However, in order for this to play out, we won't need to see Tesla continue to get bought up in this range. We have to hold some very, very key supports. That's why I want to break down this very, very important level Tesla's about to be testing. Right now, Tesla is just barely below its 200 EMA on the 4-hour time frame. That's going to be this 176 area, which is going to be acting as a support level. If we lose this, we have critical support around 173. So I'll be watching to see if Tesla could hold this and if we see buyers defend this or not. If we do close above that for today, that's going to be a sign Tesla could see buyers defend and try to get it to continue to remain range bound. But if we end up losing that support, there's going to be a risk of it dipping lower. So just be very careful. I'll be breaking down more information about this over the next couple of minutes. Now, for our economic calendar, please know that at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the 3-month and 6-month bill auctions coming out. This is going to be 2 hours after the market ends up opening. Then we have, once again, a couple of Fed speakers, mainly more bill auctions, but mainly just Fed speakers like Harker and Cook giving a speech in the evening. So that's pretty much it for the data. It's all very, very minor data, nothing too serious, nothing too crazy. That's how today is going to start off. And then we're actually seeing a lot of talk about the S&P 500 and Nasdaq Composite once again at their are very close to all-time highs right now as they're holding up. However, we have to be very, very careful because of the fact that we saw a little decline in consumer sentiment and the markets at some tough resistance. So you want to be very careful at levels like these. Moving forward, there's also some news coming out about how the price of cocoa has been soaring this year and hitting record highs. That's causing a lot of headaches for people who like chocolate, even like a lot of these companies like Hershey's, M&M's, and etc. So that's something that's worth noting. It's going to be affecting a lot of different companies as well involved in all this. So I just wanted to call that out. And besides that, there's nothing else too crazy that's actually going on, at least on the news for now. As far as Tesla, however, goes, there's been some talk coming out about how basically, Wellington Management Group has sold about 150,584 shares of Tesla. It is what it is, guys. Some companies will always be selling hundreds of thousands of shares for Tesla, and others are going to be buying hundreds of thousands, if not millions, every single day. And this tends to happen. It's not necessarily a surprise. There's been a lot of sentiment about Tesla, a lot of negative talk about the share price dipping, and also other factors like that. So, not a surprise for me. What matters though is going to be the long term and the potential that Tesla has when it comes to releasing its robotaxi and such. I still believe in Tesla's long term potential, and I'm very, very bullish nonetheless. So I'm very excited, at least for the long term, and this doesn't really change my view. Even if these other, asset groups do have different views or if they have different ideas. So that's something else that's worth noting. So that's going to be very important. That doesn't also mean that they sold all their shares. They actually have 2.6 million. They only sold about 150,000. So it is what it is. Sometimes they do this just because they want to reposition, use the funds for something else. So I just want to call that out. And this is nothing to be concerned about in any way, shape, or form, even though the media is kind of screaming about this. The Auto Trader has named Tesla's Model Y the 2024 new car of the year, which is good news for Tesla. It is the best selling vehicle overall, at least when it comes to electric SUVs. That's awesome news, at least for Tesla. It's getting a lot of popularity in the US. So that's very, very cool. There's been a lot of comfort and fun for it, and we're seeing lots and lots and lots of good reviews for it. So good for Tesla. It's getting lots of popularity and growth, and I can't wait to see what else the future holds. So awesome, awesome stuff for Tesla, at least moving forward. There's also some news that's coming out right here that Elon Musk basically posits a $20,000 Tesla Model Y. He's saying that the affordable car is going to be a game changer. So yeah, I do agree with him. It's going to be a game changer, but we'll have to see when Tesla ends up announcing it. Tesla has kind of implied to us they have 3 new models coming out soon. One kind of look like a van, I don't know for sure, and the other 2 look like small sedans or something else, who knows. But I just want to make it clear that one of them could be the Robotaxi or the $25,000 EV. That could be a lot more affordable and a lot more useful, at least for Tesla. So we'll just have to wait and see what they end up coming up with, and this is going to be very, very key. So, anyways, that's it for news and such. Let's now just talk about the charts for all these different tickers. As far as Tesla goes, right now we're still just range bound, But let me just say that for now, we do look a little bit more bearish. It looks to me like Tesla's going to dip a little bit lower. So I do anticipate some more downside is going to likely be coming when we look at every single one of these time frames. Now, going back to the 4 hour time frame and also the 1 hour, you guys can see we're continuing to lose our 200 EMA. This is a sign of weakness. So I'm going to be looking for a test right over here, this 173 area. This is previous resistance, which is now going to become our supports. Very close to 173. So I do think Tesla's going to tip a little bit more. And we'll have to see if this holds. If we lose this, I'll be looking at 171. And eventually 168 is two more supports. Make sure you watch those levels. We have resistance up here. So if we do try to come back up, our EMA is going to become resistance over here around 178, very close to that range. Then we have 180 coming next, close to our 50 EMA. 182, this is where we have an imbalance, followed by 180, 186. That area is going to be coming next if we do break past 182. Overall, this trend is looking a little bit more bearish. We've been slowly just downtrending right here. And there is going to be a risk of this actually tipping lower. So I anticipate that we might be tipping all the way down towards first off 175 and eventually 173. So I anticipate some downside, and we'll have to see if Tesla bounces off this critical support or not. But I do think there are going to be some buyers try to defend it. So we'll see. For Nvidia, I'm seeing something very, very similar. Nvidia has a slight little bearish divergence, but we're on a very, very nice uptrend so far. We do have this gap to fill down here, so we'll just have to see if Nvidia gets a rejection or not. Like I said in my earlier video, resistance is getting tougher, at least for Nvidia. Yes, it's trying to push higher. Yes, it's uptrending. Yes, it could go higher. We did call this out yesterday, but it doesn't change the fact that resistance is getting tougher. We're kind of shuffling right here in the low 130s, so we have to be very careful. 133.75 is kind of like where our resistance area has to be, like right around this range. If we end up losing this support, right here around 132, I'll be looking for it to dip all the way down towards 131.75, and then eventually a test of 130 if we end up losing the 131 zone. So I anticipate what's going to happen is Nvidia might come down to fill this gap, retest 131.75, come back up and just continue to trade sideways. So it might be a little dip coming if we fail to break past 134. So look for a little bit, a 2-point dip on Nvidia before we come back up, and just some sideways price action as the most likely possibility. For SPY has been pushing quite a bit, but like I said in my earlier video, we have this resistance right here. First off, we have 543 as resistance. If we do break this, I'll be looking at 544. If we reject it, we'll be dipping all the way down to about 541. So far, it's looking like it's going to just continue to kind of remain this channel as we're going back and forth and back and forth. So there is going to be a risk of SPY dipping back down to about 541. And if we lose that, I'll be looking at 540. If we close below 540, we turn a bit more bearish. If we close above it, we still have potential. So I'll be watching that. But for now, make sure you watch these key supports and look for a little dip on SPY before it may. We'll see if it bounces or not off 541, but look for a test of that for a little bit of a dip. For the QQQ, I'm seeing something very similar. We did push up to about 480. I did call that out in my earlier videos. If we break past 480, I'll be looking for a push for 481. If we fail to hold above 480, we'll be dipping all the way back down to 478.63. Got to hold that or else 478 is coming. I think it's going to dip a little bit to 478.63, and then it might just kind of shuffle up here, kind of trade sideways for a bit before it actually retraces right here to key support. But that's what I'm saying is the most likely possibility. For Aapl, we're just trading sideways once again. We have resistance around this 214 area. Breaking that opens the doors for 215. And we've supported 212.5. My gut tells me it's just going to trade sideways within this range. Maybe dip again to 212.5, but continue to trade, sideways for now. For a few more, let's just talk about just a couple more. We have Super Micro. Super Micro is also just kind of trading sideways right now. Not really doing a whole lot. You guys can see how it has this range. Look at resistance at around 867. Look at support around 831. My gut is telling me that this is going to actually rebound a little bit, try to push a little higher. So I'm actually going to try to go all the way up to here towards the 860 area. Then we might see rejection and move back down. I think it's just going to trade sideways within a range, at least for the time being. For Coinbase, this is downtrending for now, but we're going to be approaching the support over here. So I think there's going to be a retest of 237. If that fails us, then we have 234 coming. We'll have to see if we get a bounce off one of those levels. So look for a little dip and watch for a bounce either off 237 or 234. But there's going to be a little bit more downside most likely coming. For Amazon, we're also kind of dipping a bit. Watch this key support around 182. If we lose this, I'll be looking for a move all the way down towards 180. So watch to see if we could hold that. We are looking more bearish in Amazon. So if we lose 182, we'll be dipping even lower. If we break past 184, we turn back to bullish, and we'll be looking for a bounce. It's looking a little weaker to me. It looks like I might dip a little bit lower to retest 182. If that fails us, we'll be dipping even lower. To me, meta is just kind of range bound. We have basically resistance around 180. We've been stuck between 508. Excuse me, guys. We have 505 as resistance and support at 500. I think we're just trading sideways for now. But if we lose 500, we'll be dipping all the way down towards 492. So overall, I expect some sideways price action around 500 to 505, and we'll have to see how things develop. For GameStop, just trading sideways, completely range bound. We need to break and hold above 30 to turn bullish. Otherwise, we're just shuffling between in the 28s, basically. That's kind of all we're doing for now. Same thing with AMC. We need to try to break past 5.5 to turn bullish. Otherwise, we're just kind of stuck. All right, so that's it for the video, guys. As far as Tesla goes, the news has been neutral so far. Some good things, some not so good things. And I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla dips a little bit more before we attempt to see some buyers stepping in. So watch and see if Tesla gets a little dip. Be careful, it might pop and drop upon open. And watch and see our key support. We have some support at 175, and the 173 is going to be more critical. So we'll see if Tesla holds that or not. That is historically very strong for Tesla. All right. So thank you for listening. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you guys very soon, and peace out.